Hey guys, Astro Prime here and welcome back to Palworld. Guys, this game is insane. Depending on whether you've reached endgame or not, or how deep you have kind of like sunk into into the rabbit hole of this game, it is absolutely bonkers, guys. I've learned so much from just trying to research about the wiki, trying to learn. So honestly speaking, this survival guide is pretty useful. There's actually a surprising amount of stuff here, but nothing beats the actual, let me just show you guys where I found it here. This. So, you actually can learn a lot from a lot of these guides here. So, like for example, the soak status, damage from electric attack is increased, damage from fire is reduced, electrify, damage taken from water attack is increased. So you can obviously see that, in our previous episode where we were theorizing soak and electrify, is very clearly gonna match with each other. Similarly, another combo is, for example, was it Ivy covered? Yeah, so Ivy covered is going to increase your fire damage, so you can actually make a grass and fire build. So as you can see, burn here, yeah, so burn here, it reduces damage. I mean, this doesn't matter, right? But the combo between like Ivy covered and then maybe swapping out. So if you have like a pal that can apply Ivy covered, you can actually then start doing fire damage. There is another combo as well. Let me see. Oh no, it's not here. Oh yeah, this one. So you can also apply muddy and then after that use grass. So there are actually like damage increase depending on certain statuses, and of course there are flat out simple statuses, like for example blind, poison, and then of course freeze. We've already seen before. Freeze is just basically it's a very useful like hard CC. A lot of status effects. The elemental type matchup we already know, right? But I feel like the status effects was really where things got really out of hand in a great way. This is where, guys, team building comes to play. I've been experimenting, guys. There is a lot of presets here. I'm missing the fire preset, but I was theory crafting with a couple of fire presets. Now the bad news. Okay, so first of all, the bad news is I was right. A team like that is not gonna work. Which is also the bad news because I've bulked up my entire team here with my favorite mons. Basically all that effort and energy to bulk them up is, well, it's not useless. I found a way to work it out. So what I've basically done off screen is I've been doing a lot of theory crafting in terms of using my bulked up team, but rather than using all all four of them, let's just ignore Jet Dragon for now because he's still uninvested as all hell. I haven't figured something out. I do have something to do with Jet Dragon, just that the role Jet Dragon plays is actually not too far off from the role that hold on, let me just pop the levels here. Because Amberlist is already a dragon type, and he doubles as a dragon flying type. A fire type. And you'll notice that Amberlist, his passive is that his attack and movement speed increases. So it's not just the movement speed which makes him a speedy boy, but the more dragon and fire pals you have on your team, the stronger he gets. So Amberlist is based just purely on the partner skill is already a hint that he is going to be a good main attacker. It's the same situation with Abyss is not really. So I've learned to see the partner skills very simply. Any partner skill that has a WoW in the party, there's a good chance that partner, that pal is gonna be a back bar. So it's gonna be one of the 4 pals that you keep behind you. Pals that have straight up buffed skills depending on how many things are in your party, or basically pals with active ability. So let me see if I can find one. Where is active abilities? Okay, you're gonna have to wait. Is there a way to sort things out? No. Okay, but I do remember someone with a with an active ability, which is, where is Incineram? Okay, maybe this one. Yeah, so Incineram Dark Claw Hunter, when activated, attack the target with Dark Claw. So pals with active ability, is the very nature that you need him out on the field already suggests that it's going to be a main attacker. Now another potential main attacker is any other pal actually. So pals that are WoW in party, especially pals like for example, no, not Amberlist. Well, Dandelion might work. So you'll notice that in the, for Dandeli, while in party, it just immune. Oh wait, Dandeli has a active ability as well, where it turns my attack into poison types. Not the most useful, so I really haven't figured out a way to use Dandeli. Okay, I initially theory crafted with Dandeli actually. So the build that I'm gonna show you guys is super fun. It is not gonna be some high-end, high burst damage build, but it's consistent, which I like. It was actually crafted and designed around Dandeli, and then subsequently I changed things up a little bit. So I'll tell you guys the whole process so that you guys can also pick up. I really recommend y'all figure out and just try and theory craft and look through all the pals. So one of the joys of this game is like looking through all the pals and actually discovering and figuring out what works and what doesn't, and be okay to fail, because my initial experiment with Dandeli failed simply because Dandeli's abilities does not apply poison. This was a nightmare. Now, unless I'm doing something wrong, I've tried using Poison Promenade and Toxic Dance, which they basically spread these weird corrosive mists. By the name alone, you would think that this damn thing applies poison. The abilities don't apply poison, his active applies poison. So only when I activate my attacks, then inflicts poison. Other than that, this pal has no other poison abilities. Now, even though it says Toxic Dance and Poison Promenade, the only abilities that apply poison is actually, if it says... Wait, where's Dale? You can see there. So Poison Fog, it has poison in the name, right? But it has an aggregate poison 9999. Now this is crazy, I'll talk about that in a bit. But you have an aggregate poison 100 and an aggregate poison 100. Now you know that this ability, aside from the initial damage of power 600, is gonna then apply poison and do the poison damage over time. This is gonna be applicable for, let's see if this is, let's see, there, burn. So an aggregated burn is basically to state the status effect. So Ignis Rage itself doesn't actually apply fire or burn, but because Ignis Rage has the aggregate burn, so it will apply, and then the fire damage will tick. So always pay attention to some of these abilities. Now you see, most of these fire abilities will apply burn, but for some dumbass reason, Dandeli doesn't. So Toxic Dance does not have the aggregate. And unfortunately, Dandeli doesn't. It has an aggregate blind, which is nice, right? So this thing applies blind. Which is good. I'll talk about blind in a bit, but you'll notice that the grass type also applies ivy covered. So if you are building a build around ivy covered, and then after that, you know, your main attacker is a fire type, then this will be great, right? So if let's say you are planning to use, okay, Idrolan is a really bad example, because Idrolan is the main attacker, but he scales off fire pals instead. So you wouldn't want any grass pals, you would want fire pals that is going to be buffing fire type. So like for example, let's just, for pure example, right, this one, right? So if you design Idrolan with purely fire damage, so rather than leading into his dragon type, you use fire damage instead, then you can build a pure fire build together with Magdius, Yeoman type, which increases the damage to people who are burned. You can also then, let's see, oh god, something just landed. Yeah, so for example, this one, you can actually throw in a Kelpsie Ignis, which is going to increase the damage of fire pals by 15%. So, yeah, and our movement speed is not great. Yeah, this one. So you can throw in a Finsider Ignis as well to increase. So, and then all of these guys are fire type as well. So it's going to feed back, the feedback loop into Emberlist is going to then increase. So if your remaining 4 pals are all fire type, it is going to be 6, 12, 18, 24. 24% more damage that Emberlist is doing on top of what the 4 pals are kind of buffing. So, absolutely bonkers. You can really go crazy. Like, right now, I mean, honestly speaking, I mean, you have to take my word for it. I didn't plan this fire build at all. You can do the same. Let's say, for example, if you know the idea of grass, right, and you want to do a grass fire setup, you could effectively, let's see how we might play this out. You could try and find a really strong fire type. Oh, by the way, While Mounted is another example of a skill line that kind of inherently tells you that you're going to need this out. because you cannot mount a Pal that's in your ball. So, ooh, that came out really wrong. That is in your sphere. Sorry, that came out real wrong. But yeah, if your Pal's in your sphere, you can't actually ride it. So the very fact that it says while mounted and the ability effects, it means that you're gonna need to have it out and then you're gonna have to ride it. Now this usually means that your player will be the one doing damage instead. So again, if you're focusing a lot of your build on your player damage, then you are going to adjust your team accordingly. That's going to buff player damage as well. So but yeah, it's never ending, right? You could effectively yeah, see, like for example, while imparting, increase the player's Pal damage to IV covered. So you can do a pure grass build. As simple as that, right? You could effectively turn your attacks into grass if you like. You could find a really strong grass attacker like maybe Dandeli. Change up all his stuff into grass so that he can actually do IV covered, and then every time he manages to apply IV covered, then some of these IV covered abilities will trigger. Yeah, so there is way too many combinations out there. There is so much combinations that you can really theory craft and try. It is super mad. Yeah, you see, like for example, Blazemut Ryu, right, which was in our last episode where we kind of learned about him. This guy buffs Dragon, so I could use the same Idrolan. Instead of building him as a Fire Pal, I'll build him as a Dragon Pal. He's gonna scale off Pals in my party that's Fire and Dragon. So Blazemut is Fire and Dragon. I don't know whether this double stack. I haven't actually tested out to see if this double stack. I'm gonna theory craft a little bit. Again, there are ways to test this out. So for example, right, I can show you how I might do it right now. So in order to really test out how things work, right, I could have this guy here, and then maybe let's say I'll just have a pure Fire Boy, right? And then you just have to try things out. So for example, passive skills. No, not passive skills. Where is the one that? Wait, let me see. 114, right? Okay. Oops, what am I doing? Oh, I'm screwing up. Okay, there we go. Okay, so let's take a look. Yeah, 112. So as you can see, you can actually see the difference. So let's say for example, passive skills 112 is this is the default, no buffs, right? If I throw in a Fire Boy, a pure Fire Boy, let's just say I throw in a pure Fire Boy, you can then test it out and you can see that it is 114. You can verify that the 2% from Idrolan's passive is working. Now, on the spot, you can then test out whether or not it double stacks. Again, by the way, I'm literally doing this right now because I actually did not test it out. But this was the idea I used to test out what buffs. Okay, 114. So as you can see, so it won't double stack. So this way you can confirm that it won't double stack. It is for every Pal that corresponds with either Dragon or Fire. If you have a Pal that is both Dragon and Fire, it still counts as one instance, which also means that this buff, let's say you do max out your main attacker. I'll talk about maxing out also because the good thing is you only have to focus on your main attacker. Your back bar don't need to be fully invested. It only needs to be fully condensed. Everything else honestly doesn't matter because you're not going to throw it out there. So only your main attacker, so let's say for example it is Amethyst, only your main attacker needs to be maxed out. And of course in the full condensed, so like for example the default one is only 2%, but full condensed that's 6%, which is significant, right? Because multiply that by 4 for the 4 extra pals, that is going to be 24% damage increase on your main attacker while he's firing off damage on top of whatever is buffing. So for example, if I were to swap this out to Dragon, I can turn this Idrolan into a pure Dragon damage dealer, and then I scale him together with you know, like increased damage of Dragon, you know, like increased damage of Dragon types, I don't know, some other things out there. I can change my attack to Dragon, but I'm not sure what that's gonna be for. Yeah, so again, you're gonna have to figure it out as you go along. There will be certain pals that you will learn to catch and you will learn to see as very, very universally helpful. So I'm going to show you guys two builds that I was theory crafting with. Now the first one is this one right here. This one was a fun one to build, but I realized it didn't work. So I remember I talked about electricity and soak. This did not work at all. Why I say that is because something that the game doesn't tell you out, well, they do, you just have to read between the lines, right? So when the player attacks an enemy afflicted with electrify, not electric damage, electrify. And electrify is that little state where your enemy starts spazzing out, or you start spazzing out, right? When enough electric damage is applied, then you start spazzing out. That moment, that 2 to 3 seconds is electrify. This means that anything that increases your damage to electrified team is not as useful as, say, soak. So what I mean by this is, okay, so far soak actually applies a lot more reliably because it is a more consistent status than electrify. Electrify is more like a state where it just spazzes out and after that it just ends. Soak actually, from what I've been testing out, soak lasts a lot longer. So yes, it is possible to build a pure soak kind of like build where you focus on increasing damage to enemies who are soak, focus on allowing your player to apply soak, and then, okay, ignoring these two snails, you can then also have a water attacker that is purely doing damage. So remember, in a soak state, in soak state, it increases damage from electric damage. So then you may want to use Ozerk instead. So throwing an Ozerk here is going to be great because Ozerk itself is great because while in party or out in the field, hitting an enemy will increase my the attack and defense of the Pal alongside me, which is Ozerk himself. So Ozerk himself makes a great attacker, but he also makes a great a back bar buffer. So, but yes, throwing a Lightning Mon right here would be a great choice to go with the soak damage. The initial plan to do electrify didn't work because remember, the status did say that in an electrified state, it receives more damage from water. So initially, I was building a Neptulus build where I launch water attacks non-stop and then trust the electrify because then I use Snog to actually inflict electrify. Initially, I thought when the text say inflict electrify, it means that it is electrified. But no, you inflict electrify all the way to a point where the electrified state happens. So it's a very very light nuance, and it took me many boss fights to figure out, and I realized that hey, actually this isn't working as well as I hope. This was where I abandoned that build, so this is actually incomplete. I was playing around, theory crafting and throwing things up together, and then I just realized it didn't work. Then I started to do this one. Now this one worked a lot better. So this is super insane. So I mentioned just now, right? Initially I was crafting around Dandeli. Where is Dandeli? Yeah, I was initially crafting around Dandeli and Poison. Dandeli is a dark type, and I wanted to do a build around Poison, and there are pals out there that, for example, increase damage to enemies with who are poisoned, and there is another poison here, right here. So this is called this pal is called Bakami or Bakami. Named him Amy, sorry. And when you are attacking an enemy that's inflicted by poison, you reduce your attack by 80%, their attack by 80%. So this is bonkers crazy because this and this makes a very deadly combo. Increases my damage and reduces their damage. So I wanted to pair these two up with Dandeli. Then I realized that Dama's Dandeli did not apply poison, and that was annoying. So I basically went online to find all the pals that applied poison, and I found Venusa. So Venusa is awesome because Venusa actually learns 3 abilities that all has poison. One of which is actually, even though it's on a really high cooldown, it applies a tremendous amount of poison damage. Now it does 0 power because it applies a status, but I don't actually know 999 means actual damage number over time or the total duration. This one I have no way to test it out, but this is great. And of course, it has also very high damage, like 600 power ability. So high burst damage, also applying poison as well. And this one, poison shower, is going to be consistent. Every 8 seconds, I'm going to launch a poison shower. It's going to apply poison. This Venusa alone is going to... Oh, and by the way, Venusa, I'm building him with... oh, by the way, it's a him, even though... Yeah, I know, don't ask. This was the one that popped with, like... the best stats. Let me show you guys. So, oh, by the way, the good news is if you're worrying over IVs, again, these IVs are only relevant to your main attack pal. There is no reason to bump IVs for your sub pals because you're not going to send them out anyway. So the good news is the sub pals, you don't have to care about awakening, you don't have to care about levels, you don't have to care about the upgrade stats. you only need to care about condensing, which is fine, because if you're already breeding and kind of like cross-breeding pals, you're gonna have a breeding farm anyway, and you're gonna have a bajillion of the pals anyway. So condensing is very, very easy. You're gonna have to max condense everyone, but you only need to fully invest in one main attacker. So that helps a lot. But yeah, going back to Venusa, so aside from the poison, you'll notice that Venusa, while in party, my attacks now apply blind. So because I found out about Venusa, then I realized that I want to play around with blind as well. And the good news is blind is also a dark type. So unfortunately, there was only one pal so far that I found that applies or rather increases damage to blind. But blind itself is a really good status because blind then makes the enemies fire off abilities in the wrong direction. It is stupidly funny, right? I've seen laser beams fly off into the sky before. It's freaking hilarious. So so blind itself is great. So Venusa herself is going to apply poison from her damage and then allow me to apply blind, which then triggers our Roger, which is going to increase Venusa's damage again. So Venusa is benefiting from increased damage to blind enemies as well as poisoned enemies. So the moment the poison lands, it's crazy, and if it stacks with blind, it is insane. Venusa does a lot of damage once everything is applied. And Venusa herself, because I'm running her as Immortality, Legend, and Demon God, I might actually swap out Demon God with Diamond Body. But so far, she is doing just fine sustaining. And because I do have Serenity on, it is going to give me a lot more cooldown reduction, and he's gonna fire off a lot more abilities and then trigger Immortality a lot more consistently. For now, this is working. I'm not sure. I'm gonna stress test. So what I've been doing is I've been stress testing a lot of builds here. This thing is great. Forbidden Laboratory is great because it is basically a gauntlet. It is a gauntlet of a whole series of 8 bosses across your whole journey. It is a very, very good stress test moment. So I've been stress testing a lot of the builds here. Theory crafting a lot of the builds there as well. So this is the one that I'm going with. Oh, and by the way, of course, Ozurk's in the team because Ozurk is just universally helpful. While in party, it's going to increase everyone's damage, which also means that it's going to increase... oh, by the way, this setup is going to rely on Dale to be out on the field with me at all times. I put Zapdos at a back bar, but I actually did not change the passives. I keep Zapdos as a second option. So he is a secondary. In situations where I want to swap out to Zapdos, I can send him out for a straight up huge amount of burst damage. His abilities are all on a 30-second cooldown, sorry, 20 seconds. So once he fires off all 3 abilities, I swap him back into the sphere and then throw out Dale. So I didn't change him out as much, so he's still in his pure like damage build, well with Diamond Body of course, which is good, but he's a pure damage build. But yes, right now we are doing this. I could swap Zapdos for a lot of other things. I could throw in Sylvini for additional damage, shields. I could throw in another Pal to buff dark damage, because technically speaking all of these are dark abilities. So I could actually throw in a Pal that buffs dark damage. And that's gonna benefit Venusa as well. So a lot of crazy. And by the way, when I throw out Zapdos, Venusa's ability is also while in party, so I continue to apply blind regardless of whether Zapdos or Venusa is out. So the only thing I lose is poison if Venusa is not out. Yeah, this is the build that I'm currently most comfortable with. I am so invested. My next project is going to be that Fire Dragon build with Hydrolan Ignis. So what I want to do is with my original team right here. Neptulus, I haven't figured it out, but we have a team for Ozurk. I can actually theory craft even more for Ozurk. We tried with Dandelion, but Dandalot, but it didn't work out. But we managed to find something else that works, which is this. I'm gonna build a Hydrolan Ignis one next, hopefully. We might even be able to theory craft more Ozurks, or maybe finally have a pure soak build. So a lot of build crafting, guys. I've invested so many hours into just figuring things out, breeding, chain breeding into things, and then realizing it doesn't work and giving up on it. It is crazy fun. I don't even feel the burn. It's just super fun. But yeah, enough of that updates. What matters most is whether or not it's gonna work. Oh, by the way, yes, so I do have this now. So this is gonna buff my dark damage from my pals. So, and then of course it just gives me Pal attack up. So I don't think Pal attack level 4 stacks with this one though. So this might be a problem, but we'll see how it goes. And yes, I am going to continue. I did test this out as well. Both Night Glow's continuous damage Terror Prismas continuous damage, and also Drone Launchers continuous damage. These things all proc this. So this, it will proc Ozurk's passive. It will also proc Blind as well as Poison. Sorry. Oh, sorry. It will proc Blind. It will proc things like Soak. So anything that says that players attack inflicts something, those little drones and those little swords will apply it as well. So I become an active contributor to the fights. I'm a bit concerned about whether I need additional shields, but we're not gonna focus so much on that for now because, like I said, so far I've been stress testing mostly with normal content. The real test is whether or not we finally can do this. Guys, I have no idea if we can. I'll be very disappointed if we have to get back to the drawing block, guys. I felt like I've learned so much. Oh, by the way, Roger is a semi-support. Oh, I forgot to mention. So all support. So far, I've only found these few skills useful for supports. Vanguard. Okay, Reload Master is questionable right now. I just throw it for fun. Vanguard and Stronghold strategies are the way to go. It buffs your player damage and defense. So why not? I haven't fully tested out Idiosyncratic, but auto health regen rate, I think, is your innate health regen. So the thing I haven't tested out is whether or not it stacks. So I have Idiosyncratic here on Bekami as well as Sting. So I don't know if this stacks with each other, but it does contribute a little bit to the survivability. Now I don't know how significant it's gonna be. There was no way for me to consistently test it out, so I'll leave it to someone out there to test it out instead. But for now, those are the skills. Reload Master is questionable. I'm not sure if that's gonna work as well as I hope for, but yeah, we'll leave it there. But yeah, so yes, that is about it. So let's have Amy out. Let's enter boss hard mode. And let's see if we can find... No, that's not Amy. Sorry, it wasn't Amy. I need to dodge the first few attacks so that I don't lose unnecessary health actually. Wow. That was like... Alright, so Dale's gonna apply poison on whoever's available. Oh, it's gonna work. Alright, there's no reason to... Alright, so let's try and take out the buffers first because that's nonsense, right? Oh my god, okay, so the poison's going for what's his name, so that's not good. Alright, so let's try and take him out. Come on, Venusa. Come on, Dale. Take out this guy. Please. Okay, he's blind, so he's not gonna do shit to me. Poison is still working on Griswold, so that's good. Alright, nice. Okay, good. So now we can focus fire. Oh god. Woo! Okay, so Venusa's doing things, which is good. Remember, the challenge of hard mode is not about surviving, it is about the time. We need to do enough damage. Okay, so now will be a good time to swap to Scepter and do our burst damage. He's blinded, so we should be benefiting from the buffs. Alright, let's dodge that. Yeah, so don't forget my basic attacks are applying the blind as well. So, okay, so Scepter's done his rotation. Let's get Dale out so we can reapply poison. Okay, so the good news is Dale is tanking things well. Okay, so that's poison applied right there, which is awesome. So damage has been buffed. Now every 30 seconds or so, we are gonna have to try and apply something. Okay, so he's IV covered, so let's swap out for Scepter. He's gonna still get the buffs from the poison, so that's good. Alright, let's reapply poison. Okay, so as usual, damage is the problem. So I initially had hoped that we could get away without having to buff our damage, but it's very clear we still need it. Alright, so he's blind. No, he's not. do a burst amount of damage. Actually, wait. Sorry, just occurred to me. 400. Nah, it's not good. I mean, it's alright. Alright, poison's applied. Yeah, so a huge burst of damage. Whoa! Okay, mechanical bow is great. And I think what I should have been doing is to use mechanical bow instead. I think contributing consistently to the damage was the way to go. Any poison applied. Okay, so now we send out Zepter for the big damage. Now we apply blind. Oh god. Ah! I was wondering whether Terror Prisoner was out. Okay, he's poisoned, so we're gonna buff damage. It's fine. Yeah, so you notice Dale is actually very strong. We're doing a lot better now, but I think I realized my mistake. So what we really needed to do was to consistently use our mechanical bow as well. And just trust that Dale's damage from the poison is just gonna do things. Yeah. Yep, so I actually feel that if we had started using our mechanical bow right from the start, this would have been okay. Yeah, so as you can see, we ran out of time, but I am actually okay with that because I think I realized my mistake. Okay, so there's two things. I can't avoid it. I'm gonna need my drone launcher. Honestly speaking, we are at super endgame content right now, and as you can see, the game is it is making you really push both your pals and your build to its limit. The good thing is we have built something that is strong. So compared to our last fight where, okay, to be fair, we've never actually were at super big risk of losing our entire team. Our player has always been the big risk. That being said, I feel like we are a lot more stable in terms of the pal, and we are able to do consistent damage. So now the only thing left is actually our damage. So don't worry, we're not gonna go into another 3 hours of build crafting before we start. Okay, so off screen I'm gonna need to work on the Terraria thingy a lot more. 100, 200. Because I already have the blueprints for the new drone launcher, let's then build the new drone launcher, which is this bad boy here. I mean, it's only 220. Honestly speaking, the drone launcher is fine. It's just the repairing that's an absolute nightmare. Oh, this is cheap. Allowing you to hit enemies from afar. Shall we? I don't know, man. Honestly speaking, anything to allow me to not have to worry about ammo. I'm an absolute lazy arse. I couldn't be arsed to make ammo. I'm sorry. I couldn't be arsed. I don't want to make ammo. Okay. Okay, if it's what I think it is. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh. Okay, can we try? Meeps. How does this work? Oh, Jesus! Oh, hello? Oh, this might be a thing. 637. Now, it's not gonna be as much damage as the mechanical bow, let's be serial here. But, wait, how fast does it go? Oh, Jesus Christ, it goes super fast. Shall we? Huh. You know what? We shall. Okay. By the way, guys, join me as we actually have a full episode of theory crafting and trying things out. I know some of you may find it boring. Go read the guide if you want the fast answer. This is a let's play series and a playthrough, so there will be these moments where, well, honestly speaking, we're already at post game, so yeah, join me as I try to figure out how to deal with content. This is basically what I have not been recording all those series, you know, all the back end thinking and figuring shit out as we go along. Honestly, one way is to then use some of these like temporary buffs. I don't want to go into that just yet because honestly speaking, when I play games, I hate temporary buffs. I know it's important, but Monster Hunter, I don't cook food to eat. Well, not beyond the basic ones. And yeah, I find it all busy work. I don't like it. But yeah, okay, seriously, is that all the options we have? I mean, I could make the drone launcher, but honestly speaking, the drone launcher isn't any stronger. I mean, it's literally 220 attack compared to 210. This one does 100 damage, which, honestly speaking, on a large scheme of things, I don't know if it's that great. And it's expensive. My issue with the drone launcher is that it's freaking expensive. Oh, wait! Oh, the beam launcher, well. Huh. But this one needs ammo, doesn't it? This one doesn't need ammo. But I got Terra Prisma. So, I'm gonna make this one for an active skill. What does it use again? Beam launcher ammo. God damn. How expensive is this ammo? I'm gonna assume it's right. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, yeah, it's right here. Oh, sweet gods, is exceedingly expensive. My goodness. Oh, yeah, no, okay, the plasma rifle is way cheaper. Wait, how much lesser damage is the plasma rifle? Wait, let's... 1800 to... Oh, goddamn, 140. Oh, Jesus. Huh. So there's clearly a very clear winner. But this beam launcher ammo is gonna be expensive as all hell, man. Yo, mythical wood and wing cells. Screw off. Ugh. Okay, the good news is both Soralite and Peroxide we have unlimited amount of. Because, yeah, we do. It's the bio batteries, which we also have unlimited amount of because we have a farming route that is Thunder Pels, Lightning Pels, which is gonna drop our it's gonna drop the electric organs, which is required to make bio batteries. But of course we need refined ingots and carbon fiber, which we have tons of as well, so I'm not overly worried about this. Like, right, we have a lot of resources to make carbon fibers, so it's fine. You know what? Let's do this as a backup plan, guys. Beam launcher. Well, we're already making it anyway, so we might as well. Why can I not make the beam launcher ammo on the conveyor belt? Don't do things like that. Do I have to make it here? You know what? Let's try again with our new setup. We might be doing a little bit more. So, let's try it out. Okay, you know what? As they always say, nothing ventured, nothing gained. And endgame content is supposed to be like that. You know the unique thing? Most of the time when I play an RPG or a survival game, once I finish the story, I'm done. I'm not usually very into endgame progression and content, and that's why I gave up on like things like Pokemon's DLC and all that stuff. This is a rare exception where I truly am enjoying the endgame. I might burn out, I'm not gonna lie, I'm only human and a working human at that. I may at some point call quits and burn out. But I am very, very keen still. Oh shit, I forgot the... Let's get out of this. Alright. Let's see if this works. Okay, let's take out these bad boys as quick as possible though. Oh, nice. Oh yeah, we are doing things fast, which is nice. Oh god, we're actually dying. Jesus. Oh, I forgot stamina, gosh. Okay, we need to be careful with our health because, like I said, we are the burden. Wow, this thing is insane. Nice big hits. We're about to step up. Alright, so let's reapply the poison. Nice. Yeah, I can definitely see the damage buff from the poison. Come on. Okay, cooldown should be right. No, you know what? Let's do this early. Yeah, let's help early. We learn our lesson. We should contribute to this fight with the mechanical bow. So the mechanical bow actually does a good amount of damage. So that's awesome. Right, let's do the burst damage. Come on. I'm not doing nearly enough. Yikes. Oh no, come on. Do you think if I did the battle with mechanical bow right at the start it will be enough? I feel like we're almost there. Nothing more to give you. Oh my god, we're so close. Okay, we're getting there. Wow. So hey, it doesn't always get through, right? Oh my god, are you serious? Okay, we're getting there. See, the thing is, we had that much health bar left. Wow, you know, guys, I'm getting like PTSD from like the tail end of our back then when we were doing the early access and we were working on the 5th gym and we just couldn't get enough damage out. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, I feel like we're almost there. So I'm pretty sure that there could be a way to buff up my damage even more. Now, let's say for example, if I'm using the drone launcher, right, and it's increasing, I mean, it's doing more consistent damage over time. It stacks. So I'm pretty sure if I add on a drone launcher and a stronger weapon, yeah, I'm not convinced that I need to change my pals. Unless, of course, we change out... No, fine. No, but Zepter's great. It's already increasing the attack and defense of my pal. Unless I increase my own attack. No, but that would mean I need to change my elemental attack too. Which is not what I want to look out for now. Ugh! I could of course always send 6 Tokotokos and just blow them up, but yeah, my Tokotoko army is kind of like... Okay, let's be honest here, if I cannot find the solution to this, I might just do a troll episode next round where we just send Tokotokos out. I mean, for the life of me, Jesus, this is absolutely insane. Well, we have the beam launcher. We just need a couple of 1,000 ammos. Do you think 100 ammo will do it? Wait, no, it's 10. Wait, that's not nearly enough ammo. How does this ammo work? Okay, let's just make 500 of it. How does this work? Fire and high density beam that causes explosion over a wide area. Caution is required to prevent overheating during rapid fire. Oh god, is there a heat mechanic I have to manage? I can barely manage my current setup already, let alone the heat mechanic. Oh yeah. Honestly, I know I'm very stubborn, but it's so much cheaper to maintain Terra Prisma than... I really hope I have a legendary version of Terra Prisma. It's gonna be so much better. Okay, wait. I'm gonna waste an ammo just to see how this works. Fire it off into a distance, I guess. Oh god, it's okay. Why did I not realize that it was going to be a rocket launcher? Oh god. Oh, the heat is not... Okay. Oh, my stupid ass. Hey. You know what? We don't have much options. Let's do it. Okay, I got that much more mechanical bow. So what we'll do is we'll throw in a couple of beam launchers into the mix. Okay, this Terra Blade is just... Okay, this Terra Blade is gonna be fine from like another day. We have 800 arrows, we're fine with that. We're still gonna use this. Okay, honestly speaking, I use Terra Prisma more, not for the damage, but to apply the blind consistently. So, I don't need it to do that much high damage. Let's see if the beam launcher together with the mechanical bow... I'm not gonna bring in that much ammo. 117 sounds overkill. Because again, I don't think ammo is the issue. It is really the heat. So very obviously, heat is the issue. Which, for now, I'm not gonna worry so much about it. We're gonna do one last time, guys. I know, like I said, I don't plan these episodes. Now, it would have made more sense, a lot more sense, for me to go and do it off screen, test out the builds, know that it's gonna work, and then show it off to you guys. Maybe in subsequent episodes I'll do that. But for now, part of the adventure and the fun of the game, and the real fun of the game, well, fun for me, not for everyone. The real fun of the game is actually to be challenged and to really feel how to get certain things going. So, I'm not gonna complain about what we have here. Let's just get it done. Alright? Let's get it done. Because I want to get it. Oh, I keep forgetting to launch Terra Prisma. Fuck. Terra Prisma always launches 9. Nice. Whoa, Dale, what happened to you? Alright, let's pull some aggro off Dale, man. Jesus. Good deal. Very nice. Okay, now we're fine. Alright, let's... Alright, we'll contribute to the fight as much as possible. For some reason, Dale's not applying poison. Right, apply blind. Is it actually hitting? Ah, shit. Oh, come on. Weapon overheat. Okay, nice. Guys, am I doing damage? Oh god, I keep overheating the weapon then. Okay, Dale's back to full health almost. Yeah, Dale's... Okay, so you see, my pals aren't the problem. I'm the problem. My pals are fine. Shit, I forgot to keep swapping out this guy so that he can get some damage out. Oh, come on. Oh god. Oh, the heat doesn't dissipate when I'm... Oh, I just saw. The heat doesn't dissipate when we keep the weapon. Wow. Nope, the beam launcher is meh. I mean, I call it meh, it's more like trash. Yeah, now I regretted making all that ammo, man. The beam launcher is just questionable. Yeah, the beam launcher ain't great. Oh my god, are you serious? Ugh. Nope, so that's not the answer either. Yeah, so the beam launcher is severely limited by the heat issue, which... yeah, it wasn't great. It wasn't great. So we kind of got closer. Oh man, How is it that this hard mode team? What am I missing, guys? Do I really... Oh, come on, Clovey, don't. Do I really have to resort to temporary buffs? I really don't wanna. You see, the problem with temporary buffs I have with games is that I feel like it's always been a very arbitrary way of keeping you in the game. It's like, okay, here's a way for you to defeat the enders of content, but you're gonna have to commit your entire life to the game and grinding resources so that you can eat foods that will temporarily buff you. It's the very reason why I couldn't stand the DLC for Pokemon, because it broke that very rule that I absolutely hated in game mechanics. I don't like it when games do that. I just feel like it's a very like kind of like surface way of just getting you to commit more time to the game. I see no value in it at all. It could be once again that I'm a working adult and I just don't have the time for that bullshit. But yeah, okay, let's be honest here, the beam launcher's ain't great. We've tested it out, it's bow. Well, there's always the plasma rifle. Oh. Honestly, the other option is we use the plasma rifle. Oh no, I just realized I made so many of those beam launcher bullets that I'm gonna just passively use it off screen. Nobody wants to see it. Ugh. But the next best option is this one. I can only hope that the rate of fire is way better. Plasma rifle. I don't know, guys. Okay, honestly speaking, the mechanical bow is fine. Like, I feel like after all those shenanigans... Unless I build a bow build. Oh, that is upsetting. Where is our boy? Once upon a time when we were just finding our footing in this world, we had a hair on our team. Ay. What does the other one do? Oh damn it, I don't have Robin Quill Terrace. Ah crap, I don't know. Well, we could make a bow build. Oh good lord, imagine trying to go through this whole list just to find something that buffs bow. Ugh. Ooh! Enhances neutral and dark attacks. Oh, very cool beans. What is very cool beans? Increases the player's attack by 30% if all pals in party are a different species. Oh! Well, this one might be a good addition to just buff my damage. Look, okay, if I'm confident enough that my pals are doing fine. Okay, but the thing is, they're doing fine because Ozurk's helping out. What are you? When did I see you? You. That was a Nicora. You know, I really should go and fill up my Pokedex just to make sure that I have a full view of whatever is available to us. Yeah, we should do that. I know the easier way is to just go online and look for like Palworld resources, and I'm 100% sure there's one out there that helps you to recommend a team build. But it then takes away the fun of actually building a team. Oh, these things are cute! Look at you! I remember, this was in the World Tree, right? Oh, these things are adorable. I like them a lot. That was a dog gun. Gildane. Yeah, there's actually a lot of pals I haven't caught. Maybe what I should do is to hit on Nightmare. Oh, you guys are actually really cute. Oh, yeah, I saw Prunella before. Oh, by the way, I failed another Xenoguard catch. It makes me very upset. These things are random. Actress. Niafia. Yep, I guess it's back to the drawing block. Ugh, you know what? I don't know, man. I feel like we're gonna have to figure it out as we go along. Yep, so it's back to more testing for me. Hopefully, by the next episode, I will have something decent. Honestly, guys, the other option, which is actually increasingly going to look like it's what I'm gonna do, is I just need to pray real hard that when I open my gacha boxes, which is the ancient shards, some of the higher tier mechanical weapons, Terra Blade's already maxed out, right? But if I can find like a maxed out Terra Prisma so that I can do more consistent, or maybe even a maxed out drone launcher. I would prefer a maxed out Terror Prisma simply for like the additional damage in the background. Yeah, we could do something along those. I hate this beam launcher. I feel so scammed by the beam launcher. So upsetting. Ugh. Yeah, guys, I don't know, man. So we have a lot of figuring out to do. And once again, like I said, this is a race between me figuring shit out and me burning out. As of now, I still feel very invested to figure things out. So, yeah, so hopefully we find the answer to what we need. Because this game is tough. And yeah, I don't feel like they make it easy for you at all, which is what most a good game should do. Just that for me, it's always like a race between like my patience to keep playing and to keep working on it, and time and energy. So we'll see, right? Hopefully we come back and we will have a build set up and ready to go. I feel like we're almost there. We're so close to defeating it. So yeah, hope you guys have enjoyed this episode. I know this episode is a little bit longer, but it was very little content per se. It was really a lot of me kind of like running you guys through a lot of theory crafting and how I get things going. Once again, I must say, the easier way to do it is to go online and find a guide out there. I'm 100% sure there's a strong, amazing guide out there. But my problem with that is that copying another person's guide is just it's just gonna mean that, you know, I didn't bother theory crafting, and the answers out there. I feel like it's a lot more fun to theory craft. I'm pretty sure at some point, once I personally gave up, I might go online and find a build that works. We might. So I'm not saying I won't do it, but for now, I'm still feeling the joy of like theory crafting and figuring shit out. So we'll keep doing that. We'll figure it out at some point, and we'll hopefully finally defeat the first damn tower. Imagine 7 more hard modes tower. Fact. I don't know, man. Yeah, so hope you guys have enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you guys next time.